If you people want to sit down, what a beautiful day, eh? Canadian style. First of all, I'd like to begin to recognize some of the people that belong to the city council. I see Jim Lanciani here and Claire Friedrich. Sherwin, would you stand, please? Just stand. Now, some of you know Sherwin. He's been on the commission since its inception back in the 70s. He's a great historian. We're here primarily because of the work he has done. He knows the entire area. He knows all the people who lived here originally. But let me tell you something about him. He and his wife, Doris Hart, were in the Second World War. People don't know that. And his wife, Doris Hart, was in the Marines.
Navy.
I'm sorry, in the Navy. I'm sorry. When you see her in uniform, she looks like she's in the Marines, but she's in the Navy. And Sherwin was in the Army. Okay? And I want you to know that the dedication today is twofold. One, for Ebenezer Houghton, who owned the land, and for Sherwin Drury, who did the research. Thank you, Sherwin. Now, on the possible historic trail between Evergreen Cemetery and Monument Square, or the Common. And that road right there, the old rail trail, will be the conduit for the people who will walk this trail or bike the trail. The way we envision it with the society, and I just okayed it with Linda, with the society, is we will start eventually, not right away, at Joseph Palmer's site in Evergreen. There to Sam Hall, his place in Evergreen. Through Evergreen, cross over to Doyle Field, pick up the rail trail, come right through here to this little stepping stone, and then if you look across the road, you see two beautiful areas. One, Pine Grove Cemetery. You take a look at that beautiful spot that these people that are present here have helped put together. Likewise, Carter Park. Carter Park has a lot of monuments in it, and I'm sure in time the different people that walk this trail will visit Carter Park and see all the wonderful things that the Society and the Historical Commission and other people in town have put together. And there you move up into the Historic District. The Historic District includes Monument Square and the Common. So that's a good half a mile walk. And along a bike trail, or just along that trail right there. And as you do this, I want you to notice the flower beds. See all these flower beds? They are everywhere over the community. And we have to thank the people from the mayor's office all the way to the department heads in each of the city workforces. May I just introduce one of them? And that is head of the DPW, Pat LaPointe, right here. He's a big wheel in this. Likewise, the person who makes sure this is all taken care of And that's the fellow that's in the white coat over there. That's Dave DeMar. He's head of the cemetery. And he's the chief gardener in town. His good-looking father, Clarence DeMar. Now, as you walk around town, again, this is nothing other than a stepping stone to all those sites in town. The way the commission visualizes this is that it'll be a beautiful walkway for the citizens of Leominster. Now, I think I've done a lot of talking. I've recognized everybody that's doing all the work. Now the important person shows up. The person who is involved in LATV and does all the interviews. You know this person because wherever you go, people want to talk to him. And that is our Chief Commissioner, Robert Saudelli.
Thank you, Don. I prepared my remarks, and Don recognized many people, so it'll be somewhat repetitious, but I want to welcome and thank you all on behalf of the Leominster Historical Commission for coming here today for the dedication of Houghton Square. And special welcome today to Sherwin Drury, our historian, our real historian, and to his daughters Anne and Judy and Barbara. So thank you very much for coming. Also, I want to thank especially Sherwin for his interest, his research, and his persistence in getting this project accomplished. Councilor Frieder and Councilor Lanciani and all of the members of the DPW, Pat LaPointe, I see Ralph, I see Clarence DeMar, who Don mentioned beautifies the town, his son Dave, for putting the refreshments together and for all the work. And I would also like to thank the members, my fellow members of the Leominster Historical Commission. If I have inadvertently left anyone out, I'm looking at Rocky, and again, I have to reiterate, Rock, can't you take a picture from up on the telephone pole or something?
You hold me up.
But Rocky does so much for the city and the commission and the programs, and he's a computer whiz. So thank you again, Rocky. I have to thank Diane Bedoin of the Leominster Champion. This is a photograph. It was in this week's Leominster Champion. You can't see it, but get a copy. If you can go back in history up on Houghton Hill and envision Edmund C. Davis, the great Leominster photographer, taking glass negatives, and he's looking down on this site. And I'm looking at the picture, and again, you can't see it, but I see our square, I see the railroad tracks. I don't see Kentucky Fried Chicken for some reason. And by the way, this photo is courtesy of the Leominster Historical Society, and Linda is here today. The Leominster Historical Society, the Leominster Historical Commission, LATV, and the Leominster Public Library are cooperating and trying to preserve Leominster's history, so that's an exciting thing. But in this photograph taken by Edmund C. Davis, the Houghton House is in the picture. The Houghton House is now behind that garage. It's that large gray house. It's been turned around and it's on Houghton Court. There's no Sullivan Tire. There's no. There are many, many fewer graves in Pine Grove Cemetery when this photograph was taken. And there are also many other changes that have taken place between the time this photograph was taken and today. But you really should. What especially intrigued me about this photograph was High Street is, the town at that time is building up the road bed to build High Street, which used to end at the top of the hill. So it's an amazing photograph, and the society and the commission have, there are so many interesting photographs of Leominster's history. I'm not going to go on much longer, but I have to read a quote in the Champion. These are Sherwin's words. This was by Diane C. Bedoin. One of the Historic Commission's founding members, R. Sherwin Drury, has done extensive research on the Houghtons, the Houghton family, and has uncovered the original name for, and I have to remind myself, that's North Main Street, that's Main Street. I get it frequently confused. It's been a source of confusion for years. The reason why behind the name change is kind of lost in the mists of history. Perhaps in the early days of Leominster, when there was Little Leominster Village and North Village, this street was the main street between the two villages. Maybe that's why it occurred. We're not sure. But as Sherwin says, the Houghtons, he has uncovered the original name for North Main Street, which was aptly named Houghton Street. And as Sherwin said, we don't know why the city changed it to North Main Street. That has bothered Sherwin for years. It has become his special project, and he really put his effort into it, did a tremendous amount of research. This road was named Houghton Street by the town in 1870 per order of the state. The state mandated that all streets be named. It was chosen because the family, the Houghton family, was both numerous and prominent in this area. Complaining in 1922, Leominster historian Emma C. Moore of the Leominster Historical Society at the time, I believe she's buried in Pine Grove, all right, she wrote in the newspaper in 1922, somehow in 1874 the name was unwisely changed to North Main Street, causing such confusion to residents and travelers. And it still is a source of confusion to me today. So it gets confusing. But the reality of today and the legalities involved, we cannot change its name. So this is why today we're going to honor the Houghtons by naming a square for them. One little teeny quote, other little quote on the history of the street, because that street had other names. In 1767, 3 years before the incorporation of Fitchburg, a road was laid out to that town, to Fitchburg. Then, of course, Fitchburg wasn't a big deal and Leominster wasn't a big deal. They were just little towns. Most of it was already in use, except that it began at 3 Street, which junction was called Houghton Corner. I believe that would be up there. Okay, I have to look to these other authorities for these things. Later, this road, the highway, was referred to as the Fitchburg Road or the Great Road. Later, this road went more directly to the center of Leominster, as it does today, via North Main Street to Main Street. And again, it was named Houghton Street in 1870. It was 2¼ miles long. And here's Emma again. Somehow in 1874, the name was unwisely changed to North Main Street, causing such confusion to residents and travelers. To conclude, because Carl Piermarini is here filming, and he has already filmed the sign and the bench and the decorations, the floral decorations around the sign itself, but so that the residents of Leominster who watch the TV program will be able to know what's on the sign. Of course, we hope that they'll come up and sit at the bench and read the sign. I am going to read what's on the sign if I can find my copy, which I have right here, and then I'll keep quiet. Houghton Square. These are the words on the sign. There's the seal of the city of Leominster. Houghton Square. Houghton Square commemorates the Houghton family, numerous and prominent citizens during Leominster's first 150 years. The first Houghton to help the future town was Lancastrian John Houghton, who in 1701 helped purchase from the Indian Sagamore George Tahanto land known as the New Grant, later to become Leominster, Massachusetts. Gershom Houghton moved his family from Lancaster and built the first home in Leominster in 1725, near present-day No. 6 Schoolhouse. Gershom's brother Thomas built his home near Harvard Street. Another Houghton brother, Ebenezer, built a home on the east side of Houghton Hill. There's Houghton Hill. The town bought land from Ebenezer next to the square, where in 1741 the first meeting house and burial ground were established. Many Houghtons were buried in nearby Pine Grove Cemetery, which is on my right. Two important roads pass through Houghton Square. North Main Street, Route 12, formerly called Houghton Street, and Fitchburg Road, goes northwesterly to the Fitchburg line. Main Street starts at Monument Square, continues from there northeasterly as the start of Route 13, crosses the Nashua River, goes to the village of North Leominster, and then to the Lunenburg line. Look to the left to view Houghton Hill, one of Leominster's 12 hills. The early Houghtons did indeed leave us a great legacy. And at the bottom of the sign, it says Leominster Historical Commission, and this is so important. Special thanks to R. Sherwin Drury, historian, 2008, when the sign was put up. So thank you, Sherwin, for all your hard work. And again, thank you everyone for participating in this. This is really an event in Leominster's history, long and proud history of our wonderful community. So thank you again for coming. And if I left anybody out that I should have thanked, I apologize to you beforehand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John Boy.